This is Pedro Predictions. In this video I will be giving my midway predictions on the UEFA Nations League campaign, League A. This, in my opinion, has been the most interesting Nations League. It's the third edition and it's by far exceeded all expectations of entertainment and surprises, especially because, as I mentioned in previous videos, I think it's very predictable, the Nations League, but that's gone out the window completely. I think this is because it's a 4-match day thing. And I know tournaments are, 4 or 5, however far a team gets into a tournament, but it was like a long season and the players really felt it, so I think that's contributed to all these surprising results. I do not think this will have that much of an impact on the teams that are in the World Cup. So don't worry, England, football's coming home for you boys. Nah, probably not. Group A1, this has taken me by absolute surprise. I really thought this was going to be so predictable, but no, absolute surprise. France, it's funny because France are actually still playing really well. It's just, I don't know, maybe it's a bit of arrogance, knowing they've got an easy group. Not too sure. Again, maybe the long season that's contributing to them just not performing. The thing with France and Deschamps, I think they rely so heavily on Mbappe, Griezmann and Benzema. Not going to lie, if those three are not playing or do not come off the bench, they do not get results. And it's so nice to see France experimenting, but I feel like Deschamps, this would just reinforce Deschamps, like, no, we have to start the best squad and actually hinder that diversity in the squad. Croatia, they've been mixed. They had a bad start, but they finally got rid of that bogey they always have against France, and it's been really good to see that. And they have actually been quite solid. Their attacking hasn't been as flairful as we've seen before, but who was that goalkeeper? The Uvicic? Man, he was absolutely world class against France and really kept them at bay. So he's one to watch, actually, and I think he is Croatia's, future goalkeeper. Denmark, not surprised, actually, to be honest. I always knew they could do it, and they have such good talent. What I am surprised with about Denmark is Cornelius. He's come out of nowhere and is doing amazing, and he's actually got a really good holder playing. He reminds me a bit of Giroud almost. Just that good holder play, taking his opportunities when he can, beating that defensive high mark. He's looking really good, and Denmark do show they have depth as well, which is encouraging for their World Cup campaign. Austria, taken me by utter surprise. It's really encouraging to see Rangnick implement just an attacking philosophy. In the past, Austria hasn't done that, and it's just been really good to see. So for Group A1, I'm going to have to give a different prediction midway through because just the other one went out the window. But yeah, overall, I see Denmark topping the group and going to the Nations League final. I feel like they're in such a strong position right now, and they won their first 2 games, which were away, so says a lot, really. And they've got France at home as well. Then I see Croatia coming second. I pipped them ahead of France because, well, they've already played France twice and they've got their 2 easier games. They do have Denmark at home as well, Austria away, so yeah. And then France, I see the reason, sorry Austria, to be relegated, and I know, Austria's got 4 points right now, France only 2, but I just see France getting some jammy results, like 1-0 against Austria and a draw against Denmark or something, just being really jammy. And let's be honest, the elite nations cannot be relegated. So, and I think we'll see this as well. Like, it was so exciting to start with the Nations League, but just football, UEFA, FIFA, whoever, they're not going to let the big teams not do well, unfortunately. But there's every chance France could get relegated because they're 2 points behind Austria and they're in a real pickle. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Why do you think France, has had a bad Nations League campaign? Group A2, Czech Republic. Man, they have really exceeded my expectations. They play with such fluidity. They look comfortable and confident. Yes, they play counter-attacking football a lot of the time, especially when you're against a team like Spain. What else can they do? But they just look so good and they're creating a lot of chances. So well done to them. Switzerland have surprised me how bad they've been. They've rotated, which is good because they need to find what system works best and prepare what players to take for the World Cup. Just hasn't worked. But their final game against Portugal, it seems like they found a solid starting 11. They know how to get results and frustrate teams. And Kobel in goal, he's still really young for a goalkeeper, but he's looking very good, one for the future. And they've got the Czech Republic at home still to play, so I still see them, pulling it back. Spain, no surprise, they're a very good team. Yes, they're not always going to perform. Just no team can perform all the time. One who I think is so underrated, Sarabia. PSG have neglected him for some reason, but he is so on point and he's really good for Spain. He always finds good spaces to run into, and just a nightmare to mark. So he's been really good. Portugal, again, no surprise. They're winning when they need to win. Some of their games are not convincing though, and again, when they don't start Ronaldo, they're not winning. So that's only going to feed into Santos's pessimism there. So for Group A2, I'm sorry, but I don't see any changes to my previous predictions. Czech Republic they're going to be, pushing it to the last game, but I feel like with Switzerland, they play their final game is at home to Czech Republic. They know how to grind out results. They've shown it in the past. So unfortunately, I do see Czech Republic being relegated and the rest of the positions staying the same. Group A3. Oh my goodness! Start with Germany. They've shown it. They are so good. They're not perfect, of course. They're still a work in progress, but they have shown they can excel. And the thing I rate a lot about Hansi Flick, he is rotating his squad a lot. And again, Germany are still producing results. They're still undefeated. So I see a lot from Germany. The thing about Germany, though, is why are you playing Neuer every game? He's not invincible. You're going to have to change your keeper. And quite frankly, Neuer, the past few years, he's actually inconsistent. So Flick just needs to trust more in other goalkeepers. Italy, mixed results again. But they have shown they can be strong. Just a bit inconsistent, really. And I actually think Mancini rotating doesn't help. And I actually think Italy doesn't have as much depth as they think they do. But at the same time, it's so encouraging to see Mancini put faith in the young kids like Gnonto. Like, some games he's been doing good, some he hasn't, but he's still giving him the chance. And it's really encouraging to see. And Magyarország! Oh my goodness. If you had told me Hungary's first 4 games they'll get 7 points, I would have ripped your hand off. Like, I am so shocked still. Done the double over England. Oof! Like, on aggregate 5-0. Oh, so I'm just so amazed. They've shown so much determination, strength, passion, everything. And teams, elite teams, need to stop underrating Hungary. Aluko, former England women's player, at the end of the match commentated saying, "You can't lose 4-0 to Hungary." Well, yeah, you can. You've proven it. And just don't underestimate young teams. And I know the purpose of the Nations League is to experiment, but it just goes to show the quality of other teams in Europe is increasing. And actually the Nations League, you know, the idea of competing against teams of the same standard or just a bit higher, it's actually working and it's coming to fruition, and that's also nice to see. Standout play the whole group, maybe biased because Magyar vagyok, but Zsolt, Nagy Zsolt, the wing back, he has been phenomenal in every game. Hungary's issue though is it's paid off, but they haven't rotated enough. They did rotate with their keepers, and Debus has surprisingly had a good run, but maybe not tested enough on that. Hungary's putting a lot of effort into this, and it's paying off, and it is fantastic to see. For England, England, right, 4 games, they've scored 1 goal, and that was a penalty. End of. I also think this Nations League has shown that England has depth, but it's not as quality as we all think it is. Like, I know these players are playing at high level clubs and that, but they're not proving it. England has been notorious, let's not lie, and no disrespect English fans, but when England do bad, they do good. When England are expected to excel, they just don't do it, and I think that has seeped through a lot, you know, in players like John Stones, Kyle Walker, Sterling. They can get very arrogant in their display, and I feel sorry for Ramsdale because he's actually been really good. He played very well against Italy and Germany, just was unfortunate to be at the wrong end of the stick against Hungary. Group A3, I am going to have to change my predictions because it's not looking anywhere near as I thought, but I still see Germany topping it. They are undefeated still, so I still see them, you know, doing well. Italy, I see coming second. I know they've been a bit iffy, but I think they'll do it. They've got enough points right now. I'm not gonna lie, I am torn between England and Hungary, and my boys, they've already put on a class performance, but because mathematically Hungary can still get relegated, and like I said before with France, the big elite nations cannot get relegated. And unfortunately, I could actually see that, like, out of nowhere, England win their next 2 games. Somehow Hungary, you know, just don't do it in that, and just some jammy results. A lot can happen in the last 2 games. But genuinely, that's the reason I'm also torn, is because, let's be honest, England's on 2 points. They are really, really near to getting relegated. Like, they have to ensure other results. Like, they have to ensure they win both games and Hungary loses both games. Like, that's a lot of things going their way. So, and I don't see, like, that'll be so hard to happen. So A3, very interesting, and I'm sorry I've been waffling on a lot about this group, but I'm sorry, I'm just so proud right now. Last night I you know, I was completely sober, but I was just like so excited, and I couldn't get to sleep for ages. But as always, let me know your comments in the comment section below. Do you think England can escape? Do you think an elite nation will finally be relegated? Group A4. I'm not surprised, like, with what's happened, but the results have been surprising. Like, Poland winning, you know, against Wales, absolutely getting thrashed. I didn't see them getting thrashed. Netherlands, again, I'm not surprised, but man, how can you come from, you know, conceding late equalizers to winning a game twice within the dying seconds? Like, Van Gaal clearly is doing so well with the Netherlands, and I see a lot coming from this group. Like, it does hurt because it's against my nation too, but that is absolute quality from any team to come back like that. Belgium, just the story of Belgian football the past several years. Like, they'll do bad, they'll do good. I mean, they're rotating their squad, which is important, bringing in some of the young players. And Trossard, oh my goodness, he is so good. How has Brighton still kept hold of him? He should be like a regular for Belgium and for any top 6 Premier League team. Poland, again, they produce results when they need to, when they're under pressure. Like after that Belgium hammering, they did well against Netherlands and they beat Wales. Like, they can grind out results, but again, I don't know, just sometimes. But they're rotating their squads, which is very encouraging to see, before the World Cup. Wales, Cymru am byth. Not gonna lie, 1 point from 4 games, I was expecting better. But at the end of the day, it's that hangover feeling, like our first World Cup in 60 odd years, in 2 generations and whatnot. It's very clear they're hungover from that. Wales have been mixing up as well. Like with their squad, they've been rotating well. Harry Wilson, coming off that good campaign with Fulham, back in the Wales squad. Brennan Johnson, kid's on fire. Like, and these are hard opponents as well, just to, walk in like that. And in the playoff against Ukraine, he came off the bench and almost scored. Like, he's done really well. And I'm so glad, to see Page put a lot of faith in the youngsters as well. My midway predictions for Group A, A4, it's going to stay the same, not going to lie. So League A, again, isn't as interesting. I mean, a lot of it's so peculiar this season, but 2 groups. I'm keeping my predictions, and like I said, I really think that last game, at Cardiff against Poland will do it for Wales. Here you have my final predictions after the midway point in the UEFA Nations League 2022 League A. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Wait, sorry, just before that, let me know what you guys think though. Why is France having a bad tournament considering their easy group? Why is England not scoring goals, and why are they having a bad Nations League campaign? Do you think it'll really affect their World Cup preparation for these teams? Let me know your comments in the comment section below. Pedro predictions.